At a time way in the future, in a galaxy far, far away. Oh wait, what? You mean that's already happening here? Like, right now? Oh, fudge. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Futurist Empire channel. Today we're diving into the fast-moving waters of AI technology to examine what's been touted as a landmark breakthrough in software development. Devin AI. It's a name that's been buzzing around the tech scene a lot lately, but what is Devin AI exactly? What does it mean for the future of software development? And are there further reaching impacts that we're not aware of yet?
I want to know who you are.
On its face, Devin AI is a leading-edge piece of technology from Cognition Corporation, which is a relatively unknown applied AI lab based in New York and San Francisco. And there has been a ton of Devin AI news flooding across the wire recently, as it is being self-proclaimed by Cognition to be the world's first AI software engineer.
I'm the king of the world!
That's a pretty lofty claim, though. And the ramifications of this type of advancement could reverberate through the technology industry in many ways. And some are obvious, but some may not be so obvious just yet. That being said, let's listen to Scott Wu, founder and CEO of Cognition Corporation, showcase a little bit of how to use Devin AI and elaborate on some of its use cases.
Hey, I'm Scott from Cognition AI, and today I'm really excited to introduce you to Devin, the first AI software engineer. Let me show you an example of Devin in action. I'm going to ask Devin to benchmark the performance of Llama on a couple different API providers. From now on, Devin is in the driver's seat. First, Devin makes a step-by-step plan of how to tackle the problem. After that, it builds the whole project using all the same tools that a human software engineer would use. Devin has its own command line, its own code editor, and even its own browser. In this case, Devin decides to use the browser to pull up API documentation so that it can read up and learn how to plug into each of these APIs. Here, Devin runs into an unexpected error. Devin actually decides to add a debugging print statement, reruns the code with the debugging print statement, and then uses the error in the logs to figure out how to fix the bug. Finally, Devin decides to build and deploy a website with full styling as the visualization. You can see the website here. All of this is possible today because of the advancements that we've made in both reasoning and long-term planning. It's a really hard problem, and we've only just started, but we're super excited about the progress that we've made.
As we inch our way toward a dangerous crossroads in the progression of our technological development, we're starting to uncover some far-reaching ethical, economic, and even societal concerns that are really muddying the waters as to whether these advancements are a good thing for the future of technology, or conversely, putting us on the path toward a grim dystopian technology apocalypse. So why don't we peel back the curtain on this wizard, dig into Devin AI a little bit deeper, and try to understand what benefits, challenges, and potential pitfalls this technology could pose moving forward. Unlike most of the currently available coding tools that simply automate line by line or undertake smaller tasks, Devin aims to operate on a whole different level of autonomy. It has been designed and trained to actually understand each development project to which it is deployed on a macro level. In other words, it is able to consume and assimilate the overall structure and end goal of a software project. And its ability to comprehend the full scope of these projects actually does allow it to potentially do some pretty progressive stuff. As the developer, the idea is that I can simply tell Devin what output or end product I need using plain English, and then Devin translates those instructions into an actual functioning codebase. While this most certainly does have limitations at its current stage, and is most useful in my estimation as a support and supplement to an existing dev team, I do see how a tool of this nature could be useful in helping to free up devs from focusing on heavier, time-intensive work to applying their expertise toward the more creative aspects of development. The other thing it claims it can do is help developers debug quicker and more efficiently. And this would be a pretty valuable function for pretty much any developer, at least any that I know. However, full disclosure, I don't know how well this works or how accurately it diagnoses certain types of issues. But the idea that this is on the horizon definitely got my attention. If there's one thing that grinds me up, it's spending hours trying to track down a broken piece of logic. And before we continue, I would like to ask that if you're finding this content useful, that you please like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. This provides us more exposure to curious minds like yourself, and it helps a ton.
You know you want to.
Okay, now let's get back to the video. And now, here's probably the most differential piece, or maybe the scariest piece, depending on how you look at it. Devin is trained so that it is constantly learning and expanding its knowledge base.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
As it gets exposed to new code, data, and ongoing interactions with developers, it gets progressively smarter. This means that theoretically, Devin can adapt to different coding styles, languages, and even emerging technologies over time. I imagine this means that if a new coding language pops up in the future, Devin can train itself on the new language and seamlessly integrate it into its knowledge base, helping provide you with more speed to implementation, as you could also theoretically ramp up on new languages quicker with the help of Devin AI. Now, before we get too carried away, there are some important things to remember. Devin AI is being positioned as this amazing breakthrough advancement in technology, and while aspects of the technology are admittedly impressive, there are also some major questions that inevitably arise when this type of technology gets introduced. The first being, will this even work? I mean, let's be honest. There have been plenty of tech products launched over the years that promised pie in the sky, had a nice sleek product demo ready to roll, and seemed destined to revolutionize the industry. And let's be even more honest, the majority of the times those products end up failing to live up to the hype. Let's take smartwatches for example. Those were being built as the next big evolution in the wearable tech sector a few years back. Fast forward to now, and while sales and adoptions are pretty steady, they haven't disrupted the market nearly to the degree that they were projected to. It turns out there are some functional issues with the smartwatches, such as size, battery life, accessibility, and other things, which have slowed their growth and kept them constrained to a more modest chunk of the market. The same could be true of Devin AI as it hits the market. How well it will actually work is still largely unknown. For all we know, it could completely flame out in a few months. Honestly, I'm somewhat of a novice when it comes to the software side of things, but I do know that real-world development can get complicated. How does Devin AI hold up to those trials and tribulations? Can it function outside of its neat little controlled product demo environment and stand up to the rigors of actual product development cycles? It's a fair question and something we'll have to kind of wait and see on, but the historical odds are not in their favor.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
And this has historically been where AI struggles to hold up, when it's thrown any type of curveball. So once Devin AI gets ramped up and working on real projects, that's when we'll be able to tell how legit it actually is at this stage of its life. If we look at this from an investor's lens, of course AI is very hot right now, and so they're going to throw lots of money at these startup ventures, hoping to hit big on the next big innovation. But then that puts a ton of pressure on the company to be the first to market. Pushing out products when you're under the gun doesn't always pan out great, and so that's why with Devin AI, the first order of business will be to see how well it works out in the wild under real-world conditions. Okay, let's move on. Let's assume for the sake of this line of thought that Devin AI does work pretty well out of the gate. Probably then the most pressing concern becomes, how will this affect the job market? And it's a completely valid concern. What I can pretty confidently tell you at this point is that Devin AI in its current form is not here to replace human developers.
Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture.
At least not completely, and at least not yet, and here's why. Adoption of new technology takes time. CTOs are not running to the office immediately to start cutting staff because some new, unproven piece of tech just launched. There are many factors to look at when even considering adopting this type of a toolset. Like, how seamlessly will it integrate within the company's existing framework, and how easily can it communicate with its internal systems? This is where sometimes we jump too far ahead in worrying about how jobs will be affected, because in the end, the Devin AI solution or another of a similar ilk may in fact end up changing the job market, but it won't happen overnight, and it certainly won't happen without more testing and validation. And the demand for software development is not going anywhere. The world is run on technology, and developing new innovations is always going to be at a premium, at least for the foreseeable future. Being ahead of these trends is always a smart move, but it's not really anything new in the life of a software engineer. The field is always expanding, evolving, and offering its participants new opportunities for growth and change. Additionally, software development is about more than just code. It's about creativity, solving unique problems, and being able to craft innovative solutions. Devin AI may be able to automate repetitive tasks, help troubleshoot existing issues, and develop new code bases on command, but it still can't successfully create without human guidance, analysis, and intervention. It's positioned to be a worker bee that will aid you in completing projects by executing on the specific inputs you provide. But it's still AI, and there still needs to be humans to manage the process and make mission-critical decisions. Which also leads to somewhat of an ethical gray area. Whereas, should we even be going down a road that opens a door for AI to at some point be trusted with making strategic decisions that could affect the path or direction of a project that is being built for human consumption? There's a growing group of not just developers but people that would agree that the answer is probably no. A future way too similar to many Hollywood depictions of the technology apocalypse may be swirling around in many people's minds as those questions start to become real-world issues instead of just future theoretical concerns. And I have to say, I'm borderline nervous about where this could lead.
First time.
No, I've been nervous lots of times.
Humans have shown a severe incapacity in the past to be responsible with power and technology, and as we creep closer to a potential Terminator-style future, I can't help but hear Kyle Reese in my head saying,
"It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and it absolutely will not stop. Ever."
And then I think back to the interview with Jeffrey Hinton on PBS last year, and the wheels really start spinning.
Christian, thanks. Jeffrey Hinton, thanks so much for joining us. You are one of the more celebrated names in artificial intelligence. You have been working at this for more than 40 years. And I wonder, as you've thought about how computers learn, did it go the way you thought it would when you started in this field?
It did until very recently, in fact. I thought if we built computer models of how the brain learns, we would understand more about how the brain learns. And as a side effect, we would get better machine learning on computers. And all that was going along very well. And then very suddenly, I realized recently that maybe the digital intelligences we were building on computers were actually learning better than the brain. We're actually learning better than the brain.
We're actually learning better than the brain.
And that sort of changed my mind after about 50 years of thinking we would make better digital intelligences by making them more like the brain. I suddenly realized we might have something rather different that was already better.
Anyway, I digress. But for now, real-world experience does still matter. Will Devin AI take people's jobs? I can't say definitively no 100% across the board, but I don't think that we're at a point where it's going to really shake up the job market in any meaningful way. Not yet, but of course that could change as the technology changes. Because Devin AI in its current form still needs a fair share of management and hand-holding from a human who has critical thinking capabilities and specialized strategic expertise. And on the other side of that coin is the fact that AI-generated code, if gone unchecked, can have unintended consequences. There's always the risk of biases, errors, or vulnerabilities creeping in, which means careful monitoring and an ongoing inventory of ethical considerations are going to have to be at a premium when learning how to use Devin AI.
I choose business ethics.
But for now anyway, I'm going to squelch my concerns that we're going down the dark AI timeline, and just hope that the future of software development isn't about humans versus machines. Maybe the end goal is solely about innovation and collaboration to drive positive outcomes. Because Devin AI, as envisioned by its founders and developers, is supposed to be a partner for developers, not a full-on replacement. In its best case scenario, I can see a world where it takes a lot of busy work off the human developers' plates, frees up a lot of their time, and enables them to focus on more strategic, aesthetic, and experiential elements of the process, which leads to enhanced efficiency and better usability for the consumer. So, long story short here, if Devin AI does live up to its billing, it seriously does have the potential to transform the way we build software moving forward. But for at least the short term, human expertise will remain central to creating secure, reliable, and innovative software solutions. With each progressive step forward, though, we move closer to a future where the lines between what humans are capable of versus machines are indistinguishably blurred. My genuine hope is that we stay more toward the path of a harmonious synergy, and that we cohabitate and evolve seamlessly into the next generation of software development. Because right now, I really don't want to entertain the alternative.
Come with me if you want to live.
Even if thoughts of a darker timeline do continue to linger in the back alleys of my mind. So what do you guys think? What is Devin AI? Is it a game changer, or did we just open Pandora's box? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, that's it for now. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe for ongoing news, tutorials, and analysis of the latest emerging technologies. Thanks for watching, stay close, and I'll talk to you all next time.